officially been made, and I have good news and bad news. Hello world, I am actually really quite looking forward to this video this week because for the first time ever on this channel, I am going to challenge myself. And this week I am doing what I do every single week, doing a shop for food. But this time I am challenging myself to see if I can manage to spend only $70 for the entire week for 2 people. It is something I think a lot of us are going to want to see or try, or potentially trying at the moment because of the cost of living crisis and just everything going on in the world right now. And while I'm fortunate enough that I don't need $70 to be my budget, I want to be more mindful of what I am buying and also try and work towards bigger goals. If I can get away with spending only $70 for a week's worth of food for my household, then I'm definitely going to give it a try. And so the way that I'm doing this is that I've spent days upon days of doing research, of trying to figure out what my budget should be, how low I can get it, and how many meals and different items I can manage within that. And I have found I've got 4 main meals, which I'm going to spread across lunch and dinner for all of the weeks, as well as 2 different breakfast options, which nothing crazy. One is toast and one is pancakes. I would have loved to have thrown a third, but that's when it did get a little bit more expensive, and I can get away with those 2. And this challenge is very much based in a vegetarian diet. I am fortunate enough that I do have a couple of items in my pantry and fridge that I've bought in the past that are rolling over, things like rice I have, yeast I have, and different herbs and sauces I still have. And so technically, I think you could do this challenge for about $75 getting those things as well. I think my total is coming to about $66, I think. So there is still wiggle room if you don't have any of those items, or if you've got different items that I didn't have and I'm buying today to then replace the things that I do have. I think no matter what, it's pretty much you're getting away with about $70, maybe $75 if you can help it. And so my 4 meals that I have is a bolognaise, and I'm making this with soy protein rather than obviously meat mince. I'm making some burritos with rice as well. I've got halloumi potato bowls, and then finally homemade pizzas, which even the dough is going to be homemade because that's especially cost effective. I'll pop the shopping lists up here for you so I don't need to read them all out, but when you're spreading it across different stores, I found that it's especially effective. And I did want to comment on just the convenience that I do have. And there is such a privilege that comes with that convenience. And I know a lot of people don't have that. Before I moved here, I only had access to 1 supermarket unless I drove like half an hour to find another one. And that supermarket was here in Australia, Coles. And as you'll see from these lists, I don't have Coles on there at all. And that's because at this point in time, I can get the exact same thing for cheaper at either Woolworths or Aldi. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm fortunate enough that I have all of those supermarkets very close to me. And that is a privilege that I am aware of. And I know that can't be replicated for a lot of people. Hopefully you can still minimize your shopping, get inspired by these sorts of things, and do, I think my biggest takeaway from this is bulk meals rather than a meal every single night. It's easier to plan for, it's easier to do mentally. I don't want to be thinking about, it was hard enough to come up with 4, honestly. And so that's another tip I have. I'm off to go and buy these items now, and then we're going to cook them all up, and then we'll be eating them throughout the week, and hopefully they actually stretch until this time next week pretty much. I am back from my shopping and I have good news and bad news. So to do a quick cost breakdown of our shop, My expected shop was around about $65 in total. Whilst I was at the supermarkets, I did realize I'd forgot to add in milk. And that is because technically none of the recipes or anything planned for this week has milk in it, but it's just a good staple to have, I guess. So I did in fact get milk, which was not accounted for. So that was an extra $3.55, which was unexpected. There are a couple little bits and bobs when it came to the individual produce, because that's a little bit harder to factor in. So I guess if you really wanted to be diligent when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I wasn't, I got a little bit nervous. I was not weighing everything like I should be to be able to see if it was over, if it was under. The one time I did do that, it was with the mushrooms, and they were actually almost 20 cents under what I budgeted for them, which was very exciting. But then there were still about 5 or 6 items that did cost more, and 5 of those were pretty much produce by a few cents. One annoying thing was that the textured soy protein that I was so excited about, it's out. It's temporarily unavailable, apparently, just across everywhere. And so instead I had to pivot, and I'm now going to do a lentil bolognese, which is still really good, just not as great of a meat substitute, I guess, if you're trying to go for the real thing, but that's okay. It's still going to be really good for this week. However, it was an extra $1.30 to get a lot of it. It's going to last me a long time. I could probably even add in a special 5th extra meal potentially by the end of the week, which would be like a lentil curry. Honestly, if I have extra rice, extra lentils, and extra potatoes, that would be a very easy thing to swap in as well. But we'll see how it all goes. In the end, I'm still very, very happy. And whilst I said the expected total was $65.32, the actual total was $69.91. So still very much under the $70 target, way under $75. I think it's an incredible feat for the week. And I got a lot of things. I not only got enough items for the 4 different meals, which had several serves for each person, but I also got breakfast options, lots of different snacks. I've got lots of chips and crackers and like vegetables and things to cut up with cheese for the week, muesli bars, just lots of little bits to easily grab and go, which is handy. And I know that's not what everyone requires. I think you could swap those sorts of things out for a much more cost-effective 5th meal because they fill you up. But I'm coming and going, my partner's coming and going, so it's handy to have those little snacks. I'm going to actually meal prep these items tomorrow, but the first thing I need to do is something I have to do tonight, which is make the pizza dough so then it can rise overnight and get as large as possible. And so that's what I'm doing tonight, and then I'll see you tomorrow to actually meal prep everything that needs to be meal prepped for the week. This is how my guy's looking. So cute, but still obviously very small. We're just gonna pop a tea towel over it and then put it in the fridge to rise overnight. Good morning. It is officially the start of this challenge, and I am going to be doing all of my meal prep stuff later today. But first, I need to eat myself. So I've got, as on the schedule, pancakes to make, and this is great. It was just under $2. I got the buttermilk one, so it's a little extra sweet, so I don't need to add any other sweeteners. But if you have honey in the pantry, maple syrup, that's amazing for you. We're also going to be using one of our bananas that we bought, so this is a very easy but the perfect way to start a Sunday kind of meal. While our pancakes are cooking, I wanted to quickly show you how our pizza dough turned out. So it has set overnight, risen, and pretty much doubled in size, which is lovely. going to be making up lunch, which will be the pizza. So I've got my pizza base and I'm just going to tear off some of it, lay it out, and then top it with the toppings that I chose. Never coming down. It is officially time to actually meal prep all of these meals. I cook pretty much every Sunday, so then I don't have to cook in the night after work during the weekdays, and I can just reheat the food, which is such a good hack I found to just managing my time more effectively. And so that's what we're doing tonight. Burritos have officially been made. In total, that cooking session for 3 bulk meals took us only 2 hours together, which is so nice. It was tiring, but it could have been a lot longer. Hello, it is the night of Monday. We are officially day 2, I guess, into this challenge. And I thought I'd just quickly recap what I've eaten today because I'm about to have dinner, and that's pretty much the only time I can properly share with you what I'm eating as part of this challenge. But for breakfast, I had 2 pieces of buttered toast. That was because I was running late for the bus, so I ate them at the bus stop. That's my bad. You could make that better for sure, with a different spread of your choosing. Still really tastes good though. For lunch, I did pack myself a mandarin, a muesli bar, 2 burritos toasted, and then half a packet of crackers pretty much. And I ate everything except for the crackers because I just wasn't hungry enough for them. And now we are having bolognaise for dinner. I'm just gonna grate some cheese on them now, reheat them, and then indulge. Hey. What do you mean? I thought I already had it.
Because I forget that.
Here's our final product. I'm actually really excited. It might not be for everyone, but it's my kind of meal. And a better take on pasta than just pasta. It's now Wednesday night. Yesterday, what did I eat? 2 more pieces of buttered toast. I did end up eating my crackers. It was pretty much the exact same lunch for me that I had packed the day before, but I did eat my crackers. Today, same deal, except for today I grilled cheese onto my toast, which was really fun, and I did that with some Vegemite. And then I had chips instead of crackers today in my lunchbox, and only one burrito, an extra muesli bar. Oh, last night I had pizza for dinner and we cooked it so perfectly. The crust was just so crispy, it was incredible. And tonight I've got reheated bolognese, which I couldn't even be bothered to grate the cheese, but that's okay. Good morning, it is pancake day again. We have officially made it to the end of this week's long challenge, and I have good news and bad news. And I'll start with the bad news because then we can end on the good. And that was, we did pretty much not get to the end of the week. Kind of. By the end of it, obviously we kind of had the dregs of the food that we had left, which weren't as exciting by the end of the week. So I do still have food. We could have eaten it and gotten to the end of the week pretty fine. The better news is that with the smallest little tweak, I think I would have actually been completely fine. And that's on me for not having tested earlier. But maybe I will do this whole challenge again with these revisions because, I don't know, it was fun and it's nice trying to be very intentional with what I'm making and spending. That switch is the fact that one of the cans of tomatoes I didn't actually end up using, I didn't need for the recipe. So I had that extra. I still had rice left over as well, which I know I hadn't technically bought, but it's just something a lot of people do have in their pantry and not, I think it's like $2 to add in as well if we wanted to. And so with those couple of things and an extra $1.60, which would then bring our total to $71.61, which is still well under the $75, so we can add a couple things or change things around if we wanted to. I could make it stretch honestly beyond the week, and that is just adding in a curry. So using the extra rice, the canned tomatoes, the vegetable stock as well, the potatoes. I had so many potatoes, so just adding in some more there. Getting a can of chickpeas for $1 and then an extra onion for like 60 cents. You can have a whole nother meal to add into the rotation. I can show you what it looks like here. That just makes it a little bit easier to get through the week, a bit more exciting, and have even more food and food options too. One other thing that I would potentially try and do next time is to have eggs as well. They are quite expensive. I'll only get what I can when it comes to like free range rather than caged or anything, which then makes it even more expensive. But trying to factor that more into the budget because that's just a really good thing to have for breakfast. It's just a really good source of protein as well. Me having so much just buttered toast, that's on me, not because of the money factor. I had spreads. I had so many spreads. I just did not have the time or care at 6 a.m. in the morning to make that work. So maybe I'd also try and be more intentional with breakfast options that I can prep the night before, but that's just because of my lifestyle at the moment. Overall, I'm still really, really happy. I think it was really just that last day, Friday, that it was kind of like, all right, options are getting scarce. We might as well just get more food anyway. But for the price that it was and for the couple of little switches that I want to do, I was really proud of that. I enjoyed doing a challenge on this channel as well. Maybe I'll try and do more. Hopefully that was fun or entertaining or even a little bit eye-opening to you to maybe, I don't know, consider what you can be making for less as well, and maybe give some hope that potentially our food shops don't have to be triple digits yet. I'm very proud of that. $75 under still. I honestly didn't really think it was possible, and while it wasn't 100%, 99% is still incredibly good. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed spending this time with you, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.